deception, honor, and betrayal. The game begins anew when the epic series Game of Thrones returns. Just one part of your free preview of HBO Max. You'll experience all the must-see originals and the biggest Hollywood movies you won't want to miss. Watch it all anytime. There's nothing else like it. Don't miss a free preview of HBO Max Friday, March 29th until Monday, April 1st. Sign up for HBO and Max and get your first month free. Call 601-8992 or visit cablebahamas.com to subscribe today.
An armed robbery ends in murder. NB12 was there as one of the suspects was captured.
We believe at least 2 other persons.
The family of a man shot by police demands justice.
We never once got an answer to any of our questions.
An update on several immigration issues, plus high customer satisfaction ratings for LPIA.
And it's moving in the right direction.
I'm Nakia DeVoe, and this is NB12 Weekend. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us this Sunday for NB12 Weekend. A husband and father of one is dead after an armed robbery gone wrong. A gunman shot him as he was leaving a popular nightclub early this morning. Police have one man in custody. We'll show you all that action, but they're still on the hunt for 2 more suspects. Head of the Central Detective Unit Superintendent Paul Roll says the victim is a 36-year-old man, but would not confirm his identity. Police say the victim left Blue Water nightclub on Blue Hill Road around 4:45 this morning and was approached by 2 men in a silver Honda as he was getting into his Ford Explorer SUV.
When he was accosted by 2 males who exited a silver-type vehicle and produced weapons and demanded cash. He immediately surrendered when one of the men opened fire, striking him with the gun. They then relieved him of cash and jewelry and left the scene.
The victim was rushed to the Princess Margaret Hospital where he was pronounced dead by EMS personnel. Our cameras were rolling as officers combed the crime scene for evidence and took the Explorer away for further processing. And acting on information, officers reportedly followed one of the suspects to West Street. Our NB12 cameraman was also on scene as heavily armed officers swarmed the area. We caught the chase on camera and were on hand as officers captured a man in nearby bushes and hauled him off to a police vehicle. Roll gives more details.
A team of officers from CDU, assisted by officers from SWAT and officers from Mobile Division, went into the Meeting Street area where they took into custody a male who is suspected for being involved with this armed robbery and eventual homicide.
Evidence was also collected from that scene on West Street. Roll said based on that evidence, police believe the 3 men in the silver Honda committed another crime just half an hour before the murder.
Sometime around 4:15 a.m., a male, while standing outside in the parking lot of Club Waterloo, was accosted by 2 males who exited a silver-type vehicle. These men then accosted this 25-year-old male and produced handguns where they robbed him of jewelry, also cell phones, and some cash. We have reason to believe now that this same male that we took into custody may also be responsible for the armed robbery as well. A number of the items, he was found on top of a roof in one of the neighborhood. He was found in possession of some jewelry and telephones that were identified as being taken from the robbery that happened earlier during the night. Obviously, the items that were taken from the dead man.
Now, as we said, 2 of the 3 suspects are still at large, the driver of the silver Honda and a second armed robber. Police are asking members of the public to assist them in finding them, but Roll says officers are currently out hunting for the men and they're confident police will have them in custody soon. This incident marks the 26th homicide for the year. And with the recent spike in armed robberies, police continue to warn people to be vigilant and aware of their surroundings. Roll also urged anyone who unfortunately finds themselves in that situation to stay calm and to comply with the criminals.
Thank goodness we have not had too many armed robberies ending in homicide. This is about the first one in a very long time. Okay, because most of our homicides, these have been turf wars and gang warfare, retaliation, or mere conflict or domestics, but hardly ever armed robbery. And let's hope it stays that way. That persons, if they're going to rob, we say to persons that, a fellow produce a weapon and demanding your goods, I'd rather you give up your good than lose your life.
Roll says that nightclub robberies are not that common, but criminals look for victims of convenience, anyone in dark and isolated areas in the early morning hours. Popular targets have always been women who are alone, but Roll said recently armed robbers have been targeting anyone going in and out of their homes. He encourages anyone who feels they are being followed home to call police immediately or drive to the nearest police station. Well, in recent weeks, police-involved shootings and custody deaths have grabbed headlines with several matters currently before the coroner's court. But as Jasmine Bonamy tells us in this report, family members of a man who was fatally shot by police 3 years ago are still seeking closure.
22-year-old Linus Silvius was shot to death multiple times on August 23, 2010, during circumstances that are still disputed up to today. Since then, the family has been searching for answers. Kitley Knowles says her brother lived with friends in Baintown and he was supposed to visit another sister who lived in Pinewood Gardens. Silvius never arrived as he was shot dead 3 corners away from his relative's home.
He didn't live there. But when I went through the corner, that's when I noticed the tape, the crime scene tape. But it still didn't click to me because the corner's away from the home. And that's when someone told me, oh, my brother got killed and he is lying dead on the floor. It felt like the worst day of my life. Like my whole world just stopped. I never would have thought, something like that would have happened.
Knowles admits her brother was no angel, as he had served time in prison for drug possession. His sister said police told the family shortly after the shooting that police killed Silvius after he allegedly pulled a knife on them. Police reports claim that Silvius was a suspect in the armed robbery of a bus driver shortly before the alleged confrontation. She said police promised to give the family answers once they received the autopsy report. However, she said those answers never came. Knowles says the family was told the officer who fired the fatal shots was still on duty and that no action could be taken until a coroner's inquest was held. Knowles said the family has no idea when an inquest will be held, but like other families dealing with police-involved deaths, they just want their day in court.
We're grieving and we're angry. We're angry because we wanted answers and we never once got an answer to any of our questions, and it bothers us. The whole family is distraught. It's hard for us to cope, because we don't know what really happened. That's what really troubles us. We don't know what happened. Well, we just want the case to move forward so we could get the answers we want.
The last police-involved shooting to be heard in the coroner's court was the Brenton Smith case in 2010. Smith was shot and killed in July 2009 while he was walking with a friend just off Village Road. A jury found that the officer acted in self-defense. Reporting for NB12, I'm Jasmine Bonamy.
In other news, the government will be taking a slightly different approach to tackling illegal immigration by tightening the reins on legal migration. So said Immigration and Foreign Affairs Minister Fred Mitchell during a Bahamas National Youth Council and College of the Bahamas Forum on Immigration a few days ago. Mitchell said the government is seeking to put a dent in illegal immigration while protecting the rights of all.
Tightening up on the legal side, you are in fact cracking down on illegal immigration. Because if everyone has to be documented, those who are not documented have to go. That's the whole issue about this. I mean, I'm trying to get people to think about it in that way. If you make sure that everyone is documented, then you'll spot who is undocumented.
Mitchell added that many believe that raids, roundups, and interdictions are key to tackling the immigration problem, but he says it's much bigger than that and requires a multitude of strategies. He believes one of those strategies is gathering intelligence from U.S. partners.
What I think people are talking about, which you may be disturbed about, is this thing of people coming in on the boats. Now, the Americans and ourselves, work quite closely together on these on interdictions. And what they tell us is that only 10% of the people who actually try to get from Haiti into this country actually make it here. And they're caught. So people get excited about the fact that they're caught, but the fact is they are caught and they're sent back home. And they're trying to, we work the intelligence with them so that as soon as the Defense Force interdicts them on the high seas, they're questioned. Where'd you come from? Who did this? So on and so forth. They're interviewed. That information is sent to the U.S. straight away. U.S. switches its assets around Haiti. There are personal consequences to all these things, and I'm not trying to be cruel. I'm just trying to put the story to you starkly so you know what the consequences of what some people are demanding to be done.
Last month, Mitchell came under heavy criticism for remarks he made in the House of Assembly. Mitchell revealed that in the next year, the government plans to cease issuing work permits for maids, housekeepers, and laborers, as that group makes up the bulk of work permit applications at the Department of Immigration. He said in 2012, there were 2,340 work permits granted for laborers, gardeners, and handymen. But no matter what new policy is put in place, Mitchell said illegal and legal immigration go hand in hand.
If we get the legal migration under control, that is, all of the cultural things we're talking about, making sure that everyone who is here is documented. And so everyone, for the security of the state, everyone knows who is supposed to be here and that you have a right to be here. And if you don't have a right to be here, then you shouldn't be here. So you either a visitor or a work permit holder or a permanent resident or a citizen or whatever, or an annual resident, or a homeowner, you've got some document that says you have a right to be in the Bahamas. And anybody who doesn't have a right to be in the Bahamas shouldn't be in the Bahamas. That's what I mean by clean up.
Meantime, Mitchell says in recent weeks, local immigration officials have met with American officials. The minister said there was extensive dialogue on intelligence and information sharing. It was also agreed that there would be more thorough interviews with migrants before they are sent back to Haiti. Well, coming up after the break, starting a business on the Family Island's not an easy task.